Hello everyone, Gaara here and welcome to the very first episode of my weekly ladder recap. Every Sunday I will go over my stats of the past week and then talk a little bit about all the decks that I've used and all the classes, which are the best performing, which were the worst performing classes. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So what do we have here? So these are my stats of the past week. And these are very exciting stats because a new balance patch has hit the servers on around Tuesday my time, probably Monday evening NA time. Yeah, what do we have here? I played around 200 games. That's about 1,000 games. So it is around average of the amount of games I usually play on ladder. If I go super hard to get like a high legend finish, I usually play around 1,200 games up to 1,500 games. But 1,000 games is already like pretty good amount of games. So as you guys can see, 45% win rate. That is really bad, and this also is reflected in my ranking. I started at top 100 legend last Sunday, and then after the patch hit the servers, I played pretty much every class and all sorts of different decks. You guys know I love to experimentate and test decks, and when a deck is underperforming, I keep playing it. Even though I have like a 30% win rate, I don't really care. Like, we don't really play for any like HCT points or anything like that. So I really like to have fun on ladder and just play pretty much anything. But I will try to focus on like the best decks and good decks, also like for the videos and stuff. So we have like a big mix of like super powerful decks and like super bad decks. So let's kick this off with Druid. I played mainly Jade Druid, I believe, right after the nerf came live, and because like there were a couple people performing well with Jade Druid, and I wanted to see for myself how it will perform. It was pretty bad, around 45%. 10 and 12, not too many games, but immediately you could notice a huge difference for Jade Druid. What was a huge surprise was definitely that there weren't less people playing aggressive decks. It was actually way more people playing aggressive decks. Like, the new aggressive deck, if you want to call it aggressive deck, is the Elemental Prince Kalasev Rogue, which is very popular, especially in the first days of the week where the patch came live. Rogue was the most popular class on the ladder, so I faced a lot of rogues, and obviously Druid. When you decide to play Druid on that day where almost everyone plays Rogue, especially Elemental Tempo Rogue, you will not have a great time. And I really hate playing against that deck in general because it is such a new high roll deck. It's very similar to Barnes. If you face one of those decks and they have the Prince on turn 2, that is such a huge power level upgrade for the deck. That is ridiculous. So if they hit the patches on turn 1, as you guys know, that already spikes your win rate by so much. And if you hit the Kalasev on turn 2, then that's like another spike. I had a game which was like a highlight where someone played Prince Kalasev and then double shadow stepped it and then played the South Sea Captain the following turn and pulled a 4/4 patches. I mean, yeah, that happened. So Jade Druid was very underperforming for me. I'm 1-5 against Priest, which was definitely the worst. The 0-3 versus Mage was against Tempo Mages. So I lost to Hunter, lost to Mages. I was like experimenting with lists, so I didn't play like the most optimal list. I tried to play without inner weights and with inner weights. You can still build Jade Druid. Now I've seen lists. Jab is playing a nice Jade Druid list with Golakka crawlers. So you can play it a little bit more tempo-ish. You want to play curve. And it's still decent, but it significantly dropped in power level for sure. The Innovate nerf hit the deck hard. I still hate the Jade mechanic because if I play a slow deck like Control Mage or something like that, they can still cheese wins with the Jade idol mechanic, and you still have to run Skulking Guys to have a chance of beating that. So still a very stupid existing mechanic, which in my opinion shouldn't exist in the game. It's not an overall powerful deck at all. Hunter was my best performing deck actually last week. I climbed to top 100 legend. I used Asmodee's Hunter and I had like up to 70% win rate. And then after the nerfs, I kept playing it on the first day a lot. As you guys can see, I have probably the most games played with Hunter, so around more than 50 games, and I dropped to 46% win rate, and I was like at 70% win rate, so that's huge. And so what happened? More people are playing Golakka Crawler now than before. So after the Pirate Warrior got nerfed, much more people, or many more people are playing the Golakkas now, which is like crazy. And in the Asmodee list, as you guys know, run the patches package. So every time you get Golakkat on your pirate, you pretty much lose the game. But you really need that additional one drop with the patches to make Hunter like a tier 1 deck. And since so many people are playing Golakkas, and even now in the new Jade Druid, double Golakka is core. The Razakus Priest is running Golakka. I've seen Tempo Mages taking one Golakka all over the place. Control Paladin are taking Golakka. It's like just a lot of Golakkas, and so you kind of had to transition into a list with Fireflies. But if you play Firefly or other patches, it's a huge difference when you're fighting other patches and you don't hit the Golakka. It pretty much came down to if I hit my Golakka on a patches or if I got Golakka. So very little skill. And also, yeah, the Shaman popularity has risen a lot, as you guys can see here in the stats. I am 2 and 6 versus Shaman, so pretty bad. Shaman is pretty much just, you know, eating up patches, but they can still come back with a Devolve. Devolve is extremely strong versus Hunter, and Priest is still like one of the best matchups, and Rogue as well, but you lose to so many other decks, like as you guys can see, even Druid, you still lose to Jade Druid. Hunter Mirror is obviously pretty even. You're slightly favored versus Mages for sure. Priest still a good matchup, but the most refined Razakus lists are super hard. They play the Silences, they play the Golakka. It's really rough. It's just the strongest deck in the game. So yeah, Shaman super bad, and if you face a lot of Shamans on ladder, Hunter is not the best deck. Mage is next. Mage, 29% win rate by far. This is how I got into Dumpster today. I dropped today like almost 2000 ranks just playing Control Mage. Man, so frustrating. I pretty much got all these games in today. I lost 0-6 to Jade Druid, so pretty much unwinnable. I was running Skull King Geist, but I didn't draw it, or I didn't draw it in time. Matchup very stupid. You have to hit the Golakka up till turn 8, or like he just doesn't draw the idols, and then you can hit it later. But if you don't hit the Golakka, you just run out of removal cards, and you will just lose to the. Even if you hit the Skull King Geist like super late, they played so many Jade Idols, the damage is already done, you will lose the game. So pretty bad. Hunter against unfavored. I won against Quest Mages because he milled the quest, and I beat the Tempo Mage. Paladin, I face almost none of them anymore on the ladder after the Murloc Paladin nerf. Not too surprising. Paladin wasn't a popular class on the ladder, and all the few Paladins you saw were mainly Murloc Paladins, so after the nerf, Paladin almost disappeared from the ladder. Priest, super rough, man. It's like, it's almost unwinnable. Like, even if you draw like your nuts with the Jaina and Medivh, a very powerful Medivh, it's crazy how powerful Razakus Priest is if they draw the nuts. The nuts are pretty much just drawing Razakus and Anduin, and that's already the nuts. It's such a bad matchup. Like, I go even with Priest after like specifically attacking for this matchup. I'm trying to build it as greasy as possible. I ended up playing Kazakus Mage today. It's just such a rough matchup. And Rogue, yeah, the Elemental Rogue, if you hit the Prince Kalesev, sometimes I have very good win rates versus Rogue, sometimes I get crushed by Rogue just because, you know, you can do crazy stuff if you hit the Prince and you curve out into the Bone Mare. Shaman, no surprise, pretty good matchup. I haven't faced that many Shamans today. Warlock, again, very similar to Paladin. the two least popular classes on the ladder. And like the deeper you go into the dumpsters, the more warlocks you will face. And yeah, warrior, I think it was a taunt warrior, and I got crushed by that. So by far my worst ladder deck was a control mage, like Razakus mage, control mage. Tempo mage was not too bad. I played that a little bit. It's not too bad. It's definitely a deck with potential. I just didn't have the time to play like all the decks I wanted to play. So next up is Paladin. I was actually shocked how bad Paladin was. I will play more Paladin tomorrow on my stream. 2 and 3 versus Druid. Very similar to Mage. I play Skulking Guys. You don't hit Skulking Guys. The matchup is pretty much the same as before. The inner weight really didn't matter at all in that matchup. So the J Druid matchup is almost exactly the same as before the nerfs. So still unfavored. Still pretty bad. At least you can mulligan now against J Druid because Aggro Druid is almost non-existent anymore. Didn't face too many hunters. It's probably like the third least popular class on the ladder, which was a bit surprising, but now after seeing that many shamans, it's not that surprising. Mage, tempo mage is what you usually face on ladder. Sometimes you face a quest mage. Quest mage is also a good matchup, I would say, just because you can hit like the eye for an eye and then put him on 1 HP, but that's like the only way to win usually. No mirrors, no surprise there. I haven't faced any priest when I played Paladin. I haven't played that much Paladin, but that's kind of super surprising. So 2 and 2 versus Rogue, 0-1 versus Shaman, 0-1 versus Warlock, 0-3 versus Warrior. Actually, I don't even remember the 3 games I lost to Warrior. It's like very surprising that I lost 3 games to Warrior. Probably like just drawing bad, you know. You draw like a lot of 8 drops and then you just auto lose. And yeah, 6 and 10. I think Control Paladin is decent. When I looked at Hearthstone replay stats, Murloc Paladin should be the best aggressive deck still, because it wasn't nerfed that hard, only the War Leader. So the ladder popularity really doesn't represent the power level of Murloc Paladin that well. But yeah, so these stats are a little bit flawed. I'm also like experimenting a lot, so this should go up for sure. Priests, I played very little priests. Honestly, this 10 and 6 is not showing how my priest games actually went. I played Silence Priest and I lost like 5 games in a row, and I played Razakus Priest and I won like 10 games in a row. After I won 10 games, I'm like, okay, Razakus Priest is just the best deck in the game. Move on to the next deck. I just crushed pretty much everything. Razakus Priest feels like such a stupidly overpowered deck. Like, you can do so much with skill, and I'm shocked to see how bad you can play the deck and still win. I see people misplaying against me all the time and still win. And when I play the deck myself, when you play perfect, you just demolish people. And if you do a few misplays, you usually still win. It's crazy, like, how powerful this deck is. And if I would go for a high rank 1 legend push or something, I would just play Razakus Priest all day, every day. Pretty sure. 4-1 versus Hunter, which is like the worst matchup on paper. 3-1 versus Mage, like versus Paladin. 1-3 in the mirror. I think I played Silence Priest, and then I lost with Silence Priest to Razakus Priest, which you should counter. Nope. Razakus Priest too OP. Lost the game to Rogue, which can happen, of course. Didn't play against Shaman, which is the best matchup. Won a game versus Warlock, which is the best matchup. And no games versus Warrior. So not too many games, but by far, I would say, S tier, best deck. Played Mr. Yagut's Tempo Elemental Rogue, and honestly, this deck is so stupid. Or like, playing Rogue on ladder is so stupid because you play Pirates. I would recommend to not play Pirate decks. I don't know, maybe I was just unlucky, but I faced so many Golakas. I think every other player had a Golaka. Really a crazy popularity, and almost all my losses were because I got Golaka on turn 2. If you not keep Pirates in your starting hand, it makes the deck so much worse because it's like a curve deck. You kind of have to go with the flow, and you just take the risk to draw patches, and that's also like really bad. So I mean, if you know your opponent runs 1 Golaka, you're just risking it, and you get Golaka, you pretty much lose the game. So I stopped playing it. It was pretty strong, but only the popularity of Golaka made me not want to play Rogue, but it's definitely a powerful deck. Shaman, it's kind of crazy because Shaman, I had like 90% win rate Token Shaman, that is super powerful. It's up there with Priest. I haven't faced that many Priest with my Shaman, but I go pretty even with Priest. Token Priest. I think it's like a powerhouse of a deck, multiple different versions. As I said, like 90%. Like it says 13 and 6, but only because today I played a lot of Nizov Shaman and I had like 30% win rate. I pretty much lost all my games, and that these losses were from the Nizov Shaman. So even though I'm like 68% here win rate with Shaman, I pretty much destroyed this win rate with playing Nizov Shaman today. I lost a lot of games, and yeah, it's just, again, together with Priest, my two strongest decks of the week for sure. So if I would want to climb, Token Shaman and Razakus Priest. Next up is Warlock. As you guys can see, 6 and 16. It's actually lower than Mage. 27% win rate. Oh boy. I played Handlock. I played Kazakus Lock. You know, I haven't played Zoo, but those are... I actually played even a few games of the new Zoo. There was like a guide top 50 legend or so. Yeah, it's just not as powerful as you might think. The biggest stat that is super standing out is the stat versus Priest. 1 and 8. Man. Like, you might think that Handlock should counter Priest with like Twilight Drakes and the Despicable Dreadlords, but nope, by far the hardest matchup. Like, oh boy, Priest, that's why I kept playing it. I thought like, man, you have to be able to build Warlock to beat Priest, but damn, this matchup is bad. So I would definitely not recommend that. I played it a lot because it's fun, but yeah, losing to Priest, and that day specifically, I almost only faced Priest, so super bad. And Warlock was my worst class, and next up is the last class, Warrior. Only 9 games. I quickly built a Tempo Warrior, Tempo and Rage Warrior, which was a lot of fun to play. I won most of my games. Then I just built the deck because I didn't want to run Pirates. I played the new Pirate Warrior. Was like okay, the one that doesn't play War-X. Very awkward feeling to play the deck. Feels much worse obviously than the old Pirate Warrior. But yeah, I don't enjoy it because so many people are playing Golakka. You just get Golakka left and right, and you play a deck that got nerfed like 10 times. So yeah, not too great. I really don't enjoy playing Warrior because I prefer Control Warrior. But yeah, after the War-X nerf, it was already rough before, but now it's like oy oy oy. So yeah, that's my week. Again, my best performing decks were Razakus Priest, Token Shaman. There's like a lot of different decks on the third spot, like Hunter, Warrior, Rogue. Worst performing classes were definitely Warlock, Mage, Paladin actually. That's it for my first weekly recap video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did making it. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching once again, and see you guys tomorrow. Peace!